Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Miriam and I talk about all kinds of sewing and quilting related things here on YouTube. Christmas is upon us. It is the time. And what better way to celebrate Christmas than to make some quilty fun projects, right? What I'm going to be showing you today is going to be an excellent conversation piece, something you can show off to your friends and family. It can also be excellent Christmas gifts. I'm actually going to be making some for my family members this year. So, what we are making today is this adorable Christmas stocking t-shirt. This is very cute. It is quilted, and we've also got a little fuzzy detail for the top of the stocking, and I just thought that was really cute. I really like it. You can leave it off if you want. I'm going to show you how to do it. Included in the description box below is going to be, we're going to have a free printout here of the stocking template that you can download and print out so you can make your own, so you're not going to have to draw up your own stocking or anything. In the description box below, I'm going to include all of the materials that I'm using. Some will be affiliate links. If you want to use my links, that would be wonderful. I do get a little commission from those affiliate links, but it's no extra charge to you. But it's no pressure to use the links if you don't want to. That's fine. Just like to throw that out there just so you know. I'm very excited to show you how to make this. I have been planning on doing this project for a very long time. I'm just super excited to finally show you how to do it. First, before we get into the tutorial, I want to ask you guys a question. If you could let me know in the comments below kind of if you like these kind of longer tutorials, or if you would prefer me to try to cut my tutorials down so they're shorter. I'm just kind of trying to figure out a tempo for the tutorial videos that makes sense, because I know when I'm learning how to do something, I like to watch the person make the entire thing. I like a nice long tutorial and them to explain each step and everything like that. So I'm just putting my feelers out there and trying to figure out what you guys specifically like. So if you could let me know that in the comment section down below, I would really appreciate that, just so I can kind of figure out what I'm doing for this next year, because I am not planning on stopping YouTube in 2024. Let's get on over to the cutting mat and get started on this super cute Christmas stocking t-shirt. I have to pause again. Kimmy Chu wanted to say hello. Say hi, Kimmy. Hello. She is here supervising today, so you can rest assured that our project is going to be made properly. Right, Kimmy? Yep, that Christmas stocking. We're going to make it. All right, here we are at the cutting mat. I've got my template here. I've got a rotary cutter that we'll use. I've got some scrap fabric from other Christmas projects I've done in the past. So this is a really excellent scrappy friendly quilt project. If you don't have scraps, you can just use a solid piece of fabric like I did for mine. So this is just from the Art Gallery Fabrics fabric line Shine On by Sharon Holland. So I just had a yard of this and I love this fabric. I think it's so pretty and modern. So I just cut out the stocking straight from this. For the tutorial, I'm also going to show you how to do more of a scrappy style. We'll need our template, rotary cutter, some scrap batting. I like to use a nice thin batting. If you want to skip the batting entirely, you can, but I just like the feel of like an actual quilt on the fabric. Then if you're going to want to add the little fluff to the top of your stocking, you will need some of this. It's kind of like a Sherpa fabric, I guess. It's just, I found it in the fabric section of Hobby Lobby, actually. It was by the Fleece. It's very textured and it's super soft. I love it. And then we are going to be using some interfacing. And this is a really cool trick that I'm going to show you, where we're basically making a huge patch that we will iron on using an iron-on adhesive. Yeah, this is a really awesome way to create anything that you could put on a shirt. It doesn't have to be the stocking. You could do any shape you want. And if you use this, you're making an iron-on adhesive patch that's permanent. So it's very cool. The interfacing that I'm using is the Pellon 950F. So it's meant for apparel. It is permanent. It's machine washable, tumble dry or dry clean. So yeah, this stuff is great. I buy it by the bolt because I use it for a lot of different things. Yeah, just wait till it goes on sale at Joann's. Buy a bolt of it. Here's a little tip. If you are going to be using interfacing a lot for stuff you know you're going to, Joann's puts their interfacing on sale pretty frequently, like 70% off. So I just keep an eye out for those sales, and that's when I buy in bulk. So that's something to consider. Keep an eye out for that. But this isn't expensive. By the yard, let's see. By the yard, it's $2.99 a yard. So it's not bad. And it's 20 inches wide. So 20 inches by 36 inches, you'd be able to make a bunch of these stockings. That's just a little tip. It's something that I have done for years, and I have gone through a lot of this interfacing. All right, so what you're first going to want to do is cut out your template. I just so happen, oh my goodness, I already have one cut out. I saved a little bit of time there. This is the one that I cut out for this stocking here. What we are going to do is we are first going to create our fabric piece that we are going to cut our stocking from. So we'll set our little stocking aside. I am going to take my fabrics. These are so cute. So I have 4 fabrics in total. Yes, I have 4 fabrics in total. What I am going to do is I am just going to get my ruler and I am going to cut out some strips from this. We're just going to do 2-inch strips. I really love quick and easy projects like this. This project really from start to finish will probably take you less than 30 minutes. So that is awesome. And you literally can use as many fabrics as you want or as few fabrics as you want. You just need a piece of your fabric or your pieced fabric big enough for the stocking to fit on, which is great. So yeah, I love the kind of modern classy look of the shirt that I made with just that really simple black and white fabric. But this version that we're making with the strips is going to be super cute too. All right. Well, I am going to go and sew these together, and then I'm going to cut the big piece in half and then see how much I've got there. So let's do that here real quick. If you're new to quilting and you don't really know what I'm doing, I'm taking my fabrics and I put them right sides together. So the printed side together, and then I am stitching with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. That's pretty standard for most quilting projects. Something's tugging at my sleeve. I do believe it's Christmas. I have sewn those together. I am actually going to take these to my ironing board and I'm going to press it really good. And I'm just going to press all of the seams in one direction. You can do it whichever direction you want. It's just going to help everything lay flatter in the end piece. So let's do that really quick. It's cold outside, but I'm warm within, 'cause Christmas time is here. You know what's funny? I forgot to mention that you'll need a t-shirt for this project as well. I think that's probably pretty self-explanatory, but Kimmy, okay, she's gonna go lay over there. My goodness, she's being a little bit of a diva today. Now that we have our strips sewn together and pressed, now let's see, I'm gonna measure this really quick just to see 22, so I'm going to cut it at 11 inches. Now I'm going to take these and sew them together like that. And then I will meet you back here. I'm going to sew them together using that 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then I'll press the seam that I just sewed. And then I will meet you back here. All right, there we have our pieces or little strips sewn together. So now we're going to take our template and see if that fits. It does. We've got plenty of space all the way around our template. So now we need to cut out our piece. What I am going to do, let's see, how do I want this? We could do it kind of diagonally like that. so the strips are kind of diagonal. We could do it completely straight. I kind of like the idea of doing it diagonally. So I am just going to lay it out like that. Very cute. So our piece, just for reference, if you're going to want to just cut a chunk out of your fabric, you could also use a fat quarter for this. But this piece right now is about 12 inches by 11 inches. Okay, just so you have a reference. So if you use different size strips or a pieced block, you could add some to a pieced block. Just make sure that it is at least 11 by 12 inches. I am going to, let's see, what do I want to use as a weight? I'm just going to use this little mushroom because how cute is that? So I'm just going to use that as a weight to hold that in place. And now I am just going to cut this out. You want to go slow, especially when you're going around the curves. Very careful with your fingers. Please don't cut yourself. You want to be very careful when working with a rotary cutter. Children playing in the snow. And there we go. Let's see what it looks like, shall we? Oh, it looks so cute. How cute is that? I love this so much. Now, what I am going to do is I'm going to set the scraps aside. I'll probably use that for something else later down the road because no scrap is wasted here. Now we're going to grab our batting, and if you want to skip this step, you can, but I just like using batting. So I'm just going to take my batting and I'm going to do the same exact thing and cut it out. Every game they play, chasing each other. Now we have those two pieces. Now I'm just going to take my stocking and place it onto my stocking batting. Smooth it out. If you want to, you can pin it in place, but this is so small, it's going to stay in place fine. So now what we're going to do is we are going to quilt. Since I've already got some diagonal lines already going on with the actual strips, I'm just going to quilt on either side of the seam about 1/4 of an inch away. So that's going to give it a really nice, clean, modern look, and it's going to hold these layers together. So let's go do that real quick. To and fro, laughing all the way. Oh, what a jolly time to have the whole family here for a few days. Pretty cute. And now all of my batting and my stocking top are stuck together. So I'm just going to take my scissors real quick and I'm just going to trim off all of this kind of extra little chunks of batting here, just so this is really smooth for our next step. Of love and rain, Christmas. There we go. Got all those little boogers cut off. Now comes the next step, which is adding the interfacing. So let's get on with that, shall we? Okay, so I want to explain this properly for our interfacing. I already cut my piece out. I already had one cut out. To make sure that you cut it out correctly, because, okay, so this interfacing has one side that's soft and does not have adhesive on it. And then one side it's kind of shiny and a little more scratchy, and that's the side that has the adhesive on it. So you want to make sure there is a right and a wrong way to cut it. So depending on how you cut your stocking out will depend on how you cut the interfacing out. So what I mean by that is on the stocking, there is a front, which I've written here, front, and there is a back. So after you cut out your stocking, you should write front on one side and back on the other, just so you don't get confused. I can get very confused when this kind of stuff comes up. So There's got to be someone else that struggles with this. So I just want to make sure that I explain it completely and hopefully clearly so it makes sense. So I cut out my stocking using the front because I laid it just like that and the front was facing up as I cut it. Since I did that, I want to cut out my interfacing the same way, which means I need my stocking template to be laying on top with the front facing up on the soft side of the interfacing, not the adhesive side. So that's how I need it to be. So the front of my interfacing is the soft side and the back side is the adhesive. So that's what we want, okay? So I hope that made sense. If you do it the opposite way, if you cut your stocking with the back, which is how I did this one, if you cut it with the back, then you need to cut your interfacing that way. And then you have the template on the adhesive side if you're using the back. I hope that makes sense. So if you have questions about it, you can leave them in the comment section down below just in case, but hopefully that made sense. Another way to check to make sure you cut it correctly is when we are putting our two pieces together, we're going to sew these together first. We want the adhesive right sides together with the top of the stocking because we're going to turn it inside or right side out later and then it's going to be a patch. So that's a good way to know if you cut it properly. Is the adhesive touching the front of the stocking? So mine is. So I've got these two pieces. So what we're going to do is we are just going to sew these together. We're going to sew them together with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and I'm going to leave an opening here on this long side of the stocking. I'm going to leave an opening of maybe 3 inches, 2.5, 3 inches, something like that. So then we can turn the piece right side out later. I hope this is making sense. All right, let's sew. When you come to these curves, you want to go really nice and slow. Lift up your foot if you need to adjust, and just go really nice and slow. Because you want that curve to look really good. On your shirt. And I'm going to leave that opening. So there you can see I stopped and started my stitches right there, just like that. What I'm going to do first, real quick here, is I'm going to trim off these two little corner pieces just to take down the bulk a little bit there, just like that. And then I'm also at the curve of the toe of the stocking, I'm going to cut out little triangles. And that's just going to take down some of the bulk. So make sure that you can see that. Just cut out a little triangle. And I'm just going to do a few of those here on this curve. Really make sure, well, the triangles will be like a 1/4 inch apart. And really make sure when you're cutting that tip of the triangle that you are not cutting your stitches. It'll be like that. You do not want to cut your stitches. That would be a bummer. So see, it'll look like that. Very nice. And I think that's good. You could also do it on the heel, but I don't know if I really need to. Do a couple little ones just to cut down on the bulk a little bit. All right, see? All right, now I'm going to turn it right sides out. And you want to be gentle with the interfacing when you're doing this because the interfacing can rip. It's not as strong as the cotton. So just take your time doing this. You don't want to tear the interfacing. If you have other suggestions for other interfacings you could use for this, go ahead and leave it in the comments below. That would be awesome. We're always open to new suggestions. This is just the interfacing that I've used for years for different projects and stuff. So it's what I'm comfortable with and it's what I had on hand. So, but if you have another one that you like to use, that is awesome. That's the great thing about a lot of sewing stuff. There's many options available. I guess I could have been showing you how it was turning it out here. Oh, it looks so cute. It looks like a little kid boot. But then I'm just going to come to my seams here and I just kind of roll them with my fingers, and that just kind of helps get that seam nice and flat like that. Look how cute that is looking. Oh my goodness, adorable. And there is the interfacing on the back. The adhesive is out, so that is good. That's what we want. That's what will stick to the t-shirt. So we've got that. I'm going to take that opening. We're just going to want to turn those edges in like that. And you can either use quilting clips or a pin and pin that in place, or just finger press. I can kind of finger press and that's kind of holding it in place. We're going to add the fuzzy top of the stocking first. It's a totally optional step. If you don't want to do it, if you don't want to hassle with it, if you don't have any, that's fine. You can just skip this step. But I have some, so I'm going to do it because I think it's a very cute touch. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut a piece of the fuzzy fabric. Oops. We're going to cut a piece of this fuzzy fabric, and I'm going to use a 2.5 inch by 4.5 inch rectangle. So let me get that here real quick here. So, oh my goodness, I am covered in cat hair and string. All right. So I have my 2.5 inch by 4.5 inch rectangle here. So what we are first going to do is we are going to glue the edges down, because we don't want the raw edges exposed on the shirt, because then it could come unraveled and it'll just be a mess when you wash it. So because we want our t-shirt to last a long time, right? Before I use my iron, I am going to take our handy dandy Elmer's school glue. Many of you found me because of Elmer's school glue when I did my basting video. So I'm going to use Elmer's school glue to glue down our edges. So I'm just going to fold. Well, first I'm going to take my glue and I'm just going to do just the smallest little bead of glue. You do not need a lot. And I'm going to fold in the edge about 1/4 inch and just hold it there for a few seconds. This fabric works really well with the glue. It's just really sticky. And then do the same with the other end, like that. And if you want your fuzzy part of your stocking bigger, you can use a bigger piece. If you want it smaller, you can use a smaller piece. Or if you don't want to use it at all, you don't have to. So I've got that. Now I'm just going to use my iron to kind of set that glue, try to dry it a little bit quicker. Okay. Next we'll do the short ends. So I'm going to do the exact same thing. Just take that, just the tiniest bit of glue. It doesn't take a lot. Fold that in. Hold it with my fingers just for a few seconds, just so it kind of sticks. And do the other side. I just love this little detail. It's just so cute. And it makes the stocking kind of 3D, which I enjoy. All right. And I'm just gonna use my iron again and just press. Really doesn't take that long. We just want it to be, stuck down. It doesn't have to be completely dried. That is ready to be added to our stocking. So here's our stocking. I'm just gonna lay it here. The nice part about this is it's kind of stretchy, so if it's not quite wide enough, I can just kind of stretch it. That's what it's gonna look like. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? How cute is that? So now I'm just going to go along all 4 edges and sew about 1/8 inch from the edge just to hold that in place. So let's do that here real quickly. I really should have a partnership with Elmer's glue at this point, right? And don't worry about stitching through the adhesive. It's totally fine. It's not going to gum up your needle or anything. So here we go. I'm just gonna let's let you see that, huh?
It'll be another year.
And there we have our little stocking patch for our t-shirt. Isn't that cute? Oh my goodness. Now we add it to our t-shirt. So I am going to do my best here to have this easy for you to see. Let me grab my t-shirt. I am laying my t-shirt on the ironing board, just like that. You want to make sure that when you're placing your t-shirt on the ironing board, you are not stretching it at all, because that can kind of warp it and make it not look as nice. So we're just laying it flat and smooth. I'm just going to take my iron and just kind of run it over the front of the t-shirt, just very gently, just to smooth it completely out, get out any wrinkle or anything like that without stretching the fabric. Then I'm going to take my stocking and I'm going to figure out the placement. So I want it centered. So the way that I centered this one that I'm wearing is I used the corner of the stocking, of the tip of the stocking, and the corner of the heel, and I made sure that they were lined up straight and in the center of the collar. So, and I'm about the corner, the top corner of the stocking is about 1.25 inches from the bottom of the collar. And I think that's a really good placement. If you want it a little lower, you can. So that's a way to center it this way. And then a way to center it this way is just look at the distance between the stocking piece and the armpit seam. And it looks like I'm pretty much centered. That looks beautiful. We are very carefully gonna take our pins. I'm just gonna place 2 pins just to make sure it's centered. And I am going to stick the pin through the stocking and just through the front of the t-shirt to hold it in place. Okay, so I did that. Now I'm gonna make sure everything's laying nice and flat again. Takes a little patience, takes a little time. Double make sure that we're still centered. I'm still centered. It still looks great. And then I'm going to take another pin and come down to the foot area of the stocking and do the same thing. And this is just going to hold it in place for while we press it. Just like that. Okay. Now, you can try to press it like this, but since we used batting, it would take a lot of heat to get the heat to go through the batting into the t-shirt strong enough for the adhesive to stick to the t-shirt. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to turn the t-shirt inside out. And this is where you want to be very careful. We got our pins in there, so it should be held in place. But we want to be very careful when we are pressing the stocking because we have those pins in there. My pins have a plastic button on the end. Okay. So I do not want to touch my iron to that. So that's why I'm saying we need to be very careful. So what I am going to do, I'm going to make sure everything's laying really nice and flat. Just like that. It's held in place by those pins. So now I am actually going to reach in and I'm going to remove the pin that's down by the foot very carefully. I'm still holding the stocking in place with my left hand and I'm just pulling out the pin with my right. I'm just going to smooth everything out. Okay, that's good. Now I get my iron and I hold it on there. The amount of time it's going to take for the iron to get the adhesive to stick will depend on your iron, your settings that you're using. Follow the directions that come with the adhesive, but it only takes maybe 10-15 seconds for it to stick. And I've got my iron on, well, I've got it on the highest setting on this little mini iron. Held it on there. I'm going to set my iron over here and we're just going to check to see if it's stuck. Yep, it's stuck. So that is good. So that is being held in place. Be careful when you touch it. It's going to be hot. The adhesive stays hot for a few minutes. So just be careful. Don't burn yourself. Now I'm going to lift up the shirt and I'm going to remove that second pin because I do not want to melt it. We're all about being cautious here. Okay, so we're going to smooth everything out real good. And now just continue that process of pressing. I am applying some pressure, not a lot of pressure, but I am applying some pressure here on the iron because we want that adhesive to really stick all over the back of the stocking there. So basically what the iron is doing is it's heating up that adhesive, and then as you apply pressure, that is allowing the adhesive to adhere to the t-shirt. All right, so that is stuck down. Now we can turn it right side out. Oh my, this is so cute. So cute so far, you guys. Look at this. Hello. So cute. Now, just our last step that I'm going to do is we need to close up that opening. Remember that opening that we used to turn the stocking right side out? We need to close that up. So I'm going to turn that fabric in. There was just like a little tiny piece. See, there's a little chunk hanging out. So I'm just turning that in for when we're going to do a little top stitch there. I'm going to turn that in. I'm actually going to grab my iron and just press that just to hold it in place. Press that seam really good. Now our final step is we're just going to top stitch all the way around the perimeter of the stocking, and then we will be done. Let's do it. When you are sewing something like this, you want to make sure that you are only stitching through the front of the t-shirt. You want to make sure that you don't have multiple layers of the t-shirt there under your needle, because that's just annoying when that happens. Then you have to rip out stitches because, you know, the layers of the t-shirt are stitched together. So just doubly make sure that while you are moving around on your sewing machine. So let's sew this top stitch down. As you're sewing around, I want you to make sure that you are not pulling on the t-shirt at all at any point. You just want to feed it gently through your machine. You do not want to be pulling it in any direction.
Christmas has gone. It actually was on a Christmas day. You came my way that once upon a long ago.
Let's trim that string. And there we have our stocking t-shirt. How adorable is that, you guys? I mean, come on. That is so cute. Okay, seriously. How cute is this? Isn't that so fun? You can use this technique to add things like this to t-shirts, sweatshirts, tote bags, denim jackets. You can literally use it to do anything. I'm thinking about making this kind of a series of how we can make little quilty clothing items just for different seasons and different holidays throughout the year. Let me know if that would be something you think would be fun. And yeah, this is so cute. It's so personalized. These make such beautiful gifts. You know, who would not love to wear this? It's a custom t-shirt, basically, with a little love added on there, right? Because quilts are just a little bit of love. I just love this so much. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section down below. I try to reply to all questions and comments and everything. Thank you so much for watching this entire video if you're still watching to the end. And just have a really Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everyone. I'm just very thankful for all of you, and I look forward to see what 2024 has in store for us. Really, it's going to be really fun. So thank you again, and have a great day, guys. Bye. Kimmy, you want to say bye? Say bye.
A Bethlehem star must have shown the way that led you to me.